I'm 28 female, 33 weeks pregnant, high risk, and on modified bed rest. I can still do moderate exercises and run errands, but mainly, I'm meant to be sitting with my feet up all day so I don't get sick again. My doctor okayed me to continue doing my mile walks, so my mom and I went out to our local park with the walking path. She drove her car. We got about 1/8 of a mile from the car, and I mentioned thinking of changing the name I'd pick for the baby. It's been a point of consternation between she and I. I had settled on a name, but in the last couple of weeks, it began to feel like the wrong name. So I've been trying out a few names, but again, she's frustrated by my inability to pick one. Anyway, I mentioned wanting to change the name, and she had a visceral reaction. She growled, threw her hands up, yelled a curse, turned around, and started storming off. I didn't realize what she was doing, so I just stood there and watched. I thought she was going to turn around and come back, but instead, she stormed to the car, got in, and drove away. Even if I had realized what she was doing, I couldn't have caught up with her. I can only shuffle these days. I walked back to the parking lot, thinking she was coming back and just messing with me. But 5 minutes passed, and she was still gone. Unfortunately, my leggings don't have pockets, so I didn't have my cell phone with me. I went inside the community center, and fortunately, some ladies were setting up for something, and I asked if I could borrow a cell phone. I figured my mom wouldn't answer, so I called my grandfather, who lives 10 minutes from the park. He said he'd be right there to get me. About the time my granddad parked, my mom pulled back into the lot. She asked me why I called my grandfather instead of her, and I told her that she left me in a park without a cell phone, so I borrowed someone's and called the only number I had memorized that I knew would pick me up. Mom told my granddad she was sorry we'd bothered him and would take me home. I told her I wasn't getting in the car with her, and she was crazy if she thought I was. She asked why, and I told her, "You left your 8.5-month, high-risk pregnant child in a park without a cell phone on an 85-degree day over something as stupid as naming a baby that isn't even due for another 7 weeks. She won't even know her name for months. It doesn't matter yet, but you let it become a whole drama." My granddad drove me home. He gave my mom a stern talking to when we got there. Mom is now walking around, acting like she's the victim because I embarrassed her. She said I should have just gotten in the car with her. She's only offered a half-baked apology, but it was more of a sorry you feel the way you do apology and not a real one. She says I'm overreacting. If I overreacted, I want to know it. Edit. She didn't know I didn't have my phone. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If your mom flips out this much before the baby's born, think long and hard about if you want to deal with that and more when the baby's coming and after it comes, and decide if you want that in your and your baby's life. Your mom seems to care more about her minor frustrations than your safety, and her unwillingness to accept responsibility is really concerning. Your mom is acting like her opinion about what you name your baby is any of her business. Well, it's not, and you can give your faux apology mother the cold shoulder until she shows some true remorse. Thank God for your grandpa. And OP, from now on, don't go anywhere without your cell phone, not even into the bathroom. Even the other room may be too far in an emergency if you're at high risk. Better safe than sorry. She has no right to know the name. Tell her it will be Pluto because you're mad it's no longer a planet. It's as ridiculous as her needing to know the baby's name in advance. I honestly thought this would end up with her coming back after 2 minutes and you being all huffy and risking your baby rather than getting in the car. But nope, plot twist. Your mom was irresponsible, and you were right not to get in the car with her. The crown that your mother wears daily as drama queen weighs way too much. My wife and I initially thought we wouldn't be able to have biological children. We ended up adopting our oldest, Kyle, teen, when he was 3 after fostering him. We still tried for bio kids after adopting Kyle, and we ended up with 2 more kids, teen male and tween female. We love all 3 kids though, and Kyle is no lesser than his siblings. My mom didn't like the idea of us adopting at first. She gave us a bit of a hard time after we brought Kyle home, though he eventually grew on her. And everything seemed to work out for the most part. We never lied to Kyle about him being adopted, and this year, he asked us if it would be okay if he wanted to find and possibly get to know his birth parents. Not gonna lie, it stung a bit, but we decided it was his choice and said yes. At his birthday dinner party Saturday, I asked my brother, who's a lawyer, what was the best way to go about facilitating meeting his birth parents. Apparently, he told our mom about it. When it was time to blow out the candles on his cake, we couldn't find him. We finally found him and his boyfriend, Tyler, teen, up in his old treehouse. He was crying while Tyler was trying to console him. I asked what was wrong after he finally stopped crying. He told me about how mom pulled him upstairs earlier and went off, ranting about how he could betray us for the people that abandoned him, how after we fed and clothed him and paid for football and soccer, etc., he'd do us like that after being a kid no one wanted. To say I was angry is an understatement. I flew downstairs, cursed my mom out real good, told her to never speak to me or my kids again, and threw her out and wouldn't let her back in. My brother had to take her home. I've been getting calls from my brother and extended family telling me I overreacted and I shouldn't have treated her like that. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, not at all. You defended your child, as any parent should, because what your mom said to him was reprehensible. I must ask why your extended family members are accusing you of overreacting. Have they heard the full story, or are they just going off your mom's version? I was thinking the same thing. Either the rest of the family heard a different version of the story, or they're all as bad as her, and OP should go no contact with all of them. I wouldn't be surprised if she lied and told the rest of the family that she was polite and all that BS. Worst case scenario, she tells the family that OP's son lied to OP and made her look bad. Plus, she did this on his birthday? Your mother is a cold and cruel person. Good riddance. What Grandma did was simply a stunning betrayal of trust that goes to the very core of self-doubt and insecurity of many adopted people. She fed the very nightmares he may have, the pieces he potentially is afraid to talk about to anyone yet. I'm so sorry for him, and for you having to pick up the pieces. I bought a house a year ago, and living alone in a 3-bedroom house, I had plenty of room to spare. I have a pet snake, a ball python. She's full grown at 4.5 feet long. She's lazy and chill, and mostly lays under the heat lamps in her tank. But when I bought the house, I decided to let her have the run of a room since I had extra space. I sealed up the windows, doors, vents, light fixtures, and pretty much any crack she could try to squeeze through, and left the top off of her tank so she could roam around. I got some big pieces of driftwood and screwed them together to make a big cat tree for snakes. She loves climbing it and hanging out by the window, though often she still lays in the tank since she likes the heat lamp. I've also got a few aquariums and terrariums in there with my octopus and lizards, all very well covered to keep the snake out, LOL. I also have a sign on the door that says, "No step on snake." So with that context, I had a guy over at my house for a hookup. We'd met at a bar, judge if you want, LOL, but that was the situation. And for some reason, he went upstairs to use the bathroom. I told him where it was, and after peeing, went and opened the snake room door. I only noticed when I was downstairs getting us some water, and he yelled from upstairs and slammed the door. He was yelling that there was a snake in my house, and I called back that I knew it was my snake. She was chill. Then he came downstairs screaming at me that I should have warned him that I was a crazy B-word for having a snake just out in a room that he thought was my bedroom. I asked him why he was going through my rooms anyway. I just said he could use my bathroom. He said he was looking for my bedroom because he'd assumed I'd meet him there, but he was scolding me for having a snake and not telling him. I said there was a sign saying the snake was on the door, and he called me crazy again and walked out, saying I should have told him before he came over. I didn't need to, since it's not like I would have brought him there anyway, and I think he'd just be going around looking in all the rooms. Like, that's kind of weird. Am I the idiot for not warning a guy about the snake room? Girl, he wanted to show you his snake, not see yours. You are not the idiot. You only go snooping in rooms at someone's house if you've been invited into that room or told to go in. I don't think everyone's going to see that sign and assume a snake is in the room, but everyone should know not to snoop. In college, I had a roommate with a snake, tiny 14-inch snake, mostly just annoying because she took up 6 plugs for that snake on my side of the room. I also thought I'd be Miss Tough Lady and watch her feed a live mouse to the snake, and nope, I did not do that. I wanted to rescue it. Oh well, I didn't. I know it was food. No dude would want to come into our room. My dad refused to come into our room with the snake. All the girls wanted to come cool with the snake. I don't know. I think the dude was being nosy, and he shouldn't be, but realistically, people are nosy. But yeah, you should probably warn people not to open doors, just so someone doesn't let the snake loose or harm the snake. I don't think people would see that sign and think a snake is just openly chilling. Sorry, OP. I don't think you're an idiot or anything. Not the idiot. That's funny as heck. My boyfriend Ben, 25, and I, 25 female, have been dating for 2 years. Ben is intelligent, thoughtful, and polite, but a people pleaser and does not like confrontation. He is a best friend, Ken, 21 male. Ken has big eyes, a cute button nose, an adorable smile, and an awful personality. If he doesn't know you, he's prickly and rude. Ben says that's just how he is. Ken likes to make fun of me, but Ben says Ken is just teasing me, and he likes me a lot. Ben keeps inviting Ken on our outings that are supposed to be dates. Most recently, Ben had organized a hiking/nature outing. When we arrived, I found out that he had invited Ken. The 3 of us did an easy but long hike for the entire day. At the end of the trail, there's a ride that takes you back to civilization. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but it's a truck that's attached to a trap with seats. It's not enclosed, so you can see the night sky and feel the breeze. The ride comes around every 2 hours. Several people were waiting for the ride back at the end of the hike. When it came, everyone scrambled on and I didn't have a seat. The driver yelled that I couldn't stand. I asked Ben to move over since I'm pretty small, but he said he didn't think it was allowed since it was 1 seat. He told me to wait here for the next ride. I didn't want to wait alone while it was getting dark. The driver said to either sit down or get off. I started to move to get off. Ken said to sit on his lap. I wasn't in the mood to joke, so I sat on his lap. The ride was about 50 minutes to an hour long. We got off. Ben and I went to my car, and I thought it was the end of that. Ben told me that I had embarrassed Ken and everyone on the ride with the stunt I pulled. He said that I acted immaturely, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have waited for the next ride. He requested an apology. I said I didn't think I did anything wrong. What? Your boyfriend expected you to wait alone, in the dark, for 2 hours? Why are you with this person? Holy smokes, your boyfriend is a big idiot. He was going to leave his girlfriend behind, alone, so he could ride with his buddy? That's not a boyfriend. That's not even a decent friend. That's not even a decent example of a human being. A decent boyfriend would have volunteered to get off and let you ride or wait with you. You don't need this guy. Dump him. My sweet boyfriend treated me like dirt, but his idiot best friend, who I thought hated me, saved me from waiting in this dangerous situation. I'm so confused. And now my sweet boyfriend is being even more of an idiot to me. What? Listen, girl, your boyfriend wanted you to wait alone for the next ride while he and his button-nosed friend took the only seats? Honey, run. You don't need a guy like that in your life. I think Ben's trying to end the relationship without being the one to actually end it. If your boyfriend is inviting someone to seemingly help run interference, then he's giving you signals that it's over. Yeah, like if the seat was an issue, you all as a group could have waited together. However, Ben is secretly in love with Ken. That's why he keeps inviting Ken along and why he was willing to leave OP behind. And Ken is secretly in love with OP. That's why he kept tagging along and offered his lap. Also noted, after Ken offered his lap, Ben didn't step up and offer his own instead. I was thinking the same thing. Ken teases OP. That alone might be a sign that he's into her. Even Ben says he likes her. Ben gets so mad that OP embarrasses Ken. Ben should have been embarrassed for even suggesting leaving OP alone for like 3 hours. The story originally makes it sound like Ben is the nice person and Ken is the crude one. But holy heck, would I take Ken over Ben? Ken was way, way, way nicer to OP than Ben was. Lately, my husband has been waking me up between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. because he's hungry or wants a rub, back or arm. I hate being woken up when I'm sleeping. Last time, he woke me up by poking me until I woke up. It's not hard, just insistent. I hate being woken up when I'm deep asleep. I told him he needs to not make a habit of it, because if he wants a snack in the middle of the night, he can get it himself. And if he wanted a rub, he should have asked before we went to bed. He thinks I'm an idiot because I don't drive, and he has to wake up to bring me to work every day, Monday through Friday at around 7:15 a.m. I tried saying waking up after 8 full hours is different than waking up in the middle of the night. I can usually fall back asleep faster afterward, but sometimes, like tonight, I have trouble. He said it's because his back hurts, etc. He wants a rub to fall back asleep, but only told me that tonight. I also sometimes wake him up snoring. Am I the idiot for not wanting to wake up in the middle of the night to make him a snack or give him a rub when he has to wake up to take me to work in the morning? I feel like I am the idiot because I didn't know it was because his back hurt and to help him fall back asleep. But at the same time, he's a grown man and can get his own midnight snack. Not the idiot. If my husband did this, I'd be rolling over, giving him divorce papers, and then rolling back and going back to sleep. If he wants midnight snacks, he can make something before bed and leave it in the fridge to heat up. OP, he will keep doing this as long as he gets his way. But if it keeps happening, it'll be habit forming. If I were OP, I'd just put a basket of fruit snacks and a bottle of ibuprofen on his bedside table and sleep in another room. Also, dude can get a heating pad too. On occasions, my back is sore. I have one I use when I go to bed. Most have automatic shutdown timers and adjustable heat settings. You can get them at pharmacies. Any grown man that literally bothers you in the middle of the night for food or a rub down needs to figure it out. He's not a baby. Weaponized incompetence right here. It sounds like either a control issue or a payback issue. You need to sit him down and find out precisely what's happening here. Maybe he's sick of driving you to work, but is afraid to tell you, so he's getting back at you in these weird ways. Just a guess, but go have that discussion and tell him you're not making him food or whatever else he wants in the middle of the night. He's not a child. Alternatively, you could bring him warm milk in a sippy cup next time he asks. Update. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to keep telling him no. This just started about a week ago, and I didn't do it every time. Last night, he wanted me to microwave his leftovers at 3 a.m., and I just did it so he could stop saying he was hungry. I'm going to stick to telling him no and not do it.